It looked like Bria Hartley just got instant karma, bro. She out for the season. I'm here to tell you the most dirtiest player in the WNBA contract has been written, bro. And I'm here to tell you she's out for the season. Yes, you heard me correctly. Yeah, man, Bria Hartley. So Connecticut PR has released a statement. Bria Hartley is to miss the remainder of the season.
Instant karma just shook the WNBA. Bria Hartley, the player many fans labeled the dirtiest in the league, is out for the season, and the timing could not be more dramatic. Was this just unfortunate coincidence, or did the basketball gods deliver poetic justice right on schedule? Stay with me as we unpack Sophie Cunningham's injury, the viral smirk that enraged the internet, and the twist that flipped the narrative overnight. If you love deep WNBA breakdowns, please subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss what drops next. Let's get into it.
This picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now. Clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
This is the play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it. And she went down hard and was clearly in a lot of pain.
It began with the silence you could feel. Sophie Cunningham collided with Bria Hartley, crumpled to the hardwood, and clutched her knee as trainers sprinted in. Teammates closed around her while the arena's roar collapsed into a worried hush. The injury looked different. No quick bounce back. No brave jog to the bench. Only pain and faces gone pale. Then came the image that detonated online. Hartley's fleeting smirk as Sophie was helped away. To some, it was awful timing. To many, it was proof of intent. The frame ricocheted across feeds, hardening first impressions and turning a collision into a referendum on respect. Was that split-second expression innocent, or a window into a mindset fans already feared was too reckless to ignore? Broadcasters replayed the contact from every angle, but debate kept snapping back to that smile. And with each replay, the question sharpened the final time. Was this terrible optics, or a clue to a pattern the league could not ignore?
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness.
Timeout.
Should be. In a scary moment as we went to commercial, Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
The smirk became more than a picture. It became evidence. Within hours, that single frame anchored the narrative. No sportsmanship, no empathy, just a grin while an opponent limped away. Hashtags trended, compilations formed, and commentators framed it as the season's defining image. Even when Sophie urged restraint, calling the contact a basketball play, the screenshot kept insisting on a harsher story. To fans, actions outweighed statements. The smile outweighed quotes. Threads dissected angles, timing, and body language, each post reinforcing the same theme, intent. And once a community decides intent, reputations calcify faster than facts. Broadcast loops and memes sealed the impression. A verdict stickier than any post-game quote. If Exhibit A was the smile, what would the next clips reveal?
Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. But Sophie Cunningham was flat out targeted by a dirty, dirty player.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right? Winning the trophy for it. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
This wasn't a first impression. It was a pattern many were ready to see. As the image spread, fans resurfaced clips. A tangle where Hartley's hand closed on Angel Reese's braids during a rebound battle. A shove that sent Rebecca Allen stumbling. Chippy dust-ups that lived right on the line. Each incident had once been explained away as heat-of-the-moment play, but stacked together, they read differently. Threads turned into timelines, and timelines into case files. To one side, Hartley was a hard-nosed competitor unfairly villainized by slow-motion judgment. To the other, she was a repeat offender whose choices kept endangering opponents. With tempers high, the next question felt inevitable. If the league wouldn't define the line, would the crowd do it for them? Former players chimed in about unwritten rules, the duty to pull up to avoid vulnerable legs, and noted that when the same name appears after too many collisions, intent gets inferred by pattern.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound, and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy, and a shove on Nelson Ododa. And listen, this arena, typically we'll see some ringside fights.
That clip circulated fast, and by the time everyone added it to Hartley's reputation file, she already had another incident waiting.
The controversy jumped from one player to the system. Critics argued officiating had grown inconsistent. Hard contact sailed by in one game, while tic-tac calls stacked up in the next. Fans said that inconsistency eroded trust and left players exposed to harm. The frustration sharpened when Sophie, fined earlier for criticizing whistles, became the latest to suffer a season-ending injury after a borderline collision. Her sister and mother added their voices, asking why safety wasn't the league's first priority and urging clearer standards. To many, it felt backward. Punish comments swiftly, but debate dangerous plays endlessly. As pressure mounted, people stopped waiting for officials to narrate intent. If referees wouldn't define the line, the public would, and their verdict pointed straight at accountability. Editorials urged clearer review thresholds and post-game transparency to mark the boundary before the next collision.
So Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see Breezy 1414 and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now, that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
Public pressure surged into a demand for discipline. Comment threads filled with calls for a suspension, and petitions gathered signatures insisting that reckless play must carry real costs. Pundits labeled the collision with Sophie the season's dirtiest moment, arguing that optics and outcomes aligned, a vulnerable knee, an avoidable angle, a smirk that poisoned the benefit of the doubt. Even neutral observers conceded the league needed a clear stance. Was Hartley's act suspendable by rule or precedent? Would a review board weigh intent, history, or only consequence? Those questions crowded studio desks and pre-game hits. Yet before officials could publish a ruling or clarify thresholds, a different notice hit the timeline, and the whole debate swerved in a direction no one had scripted. Team PR pushed a terse update. Punishment talk faded, replaced by shock at what the injury report revealed next. The twist wasn't a sanction at all, but a status change.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. The 6th time they've smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured. And it pisses me off.
Then the headline no one expected. Hartley was out for the season. Connecticut announced a right knee meniscus tear sustained in practice, ending her year immediately. The symmetry felt surreal. Sophie Cunningham ruled out with a torn MCL after a controversial collision, and now Hartley sidelined by a knee injury of her own. Social feeds stamped 2 words on the story: instant karma, as fans connected timing with the imagery that had inflamed debate. The league hadn't issued a suspension. Fate had removed a player from the board. News desks pivoted from discipline hypotheticals to medical timelines, while supporters argued whether justice can be poetic without being celebratory. The irony was obvious. But what did it actually change about the larger issue? Connecticut's rotation lost a guard at a stretch, forcing minutes to shift, while Indiana fans felt vindication that did not heal a damaged roster. Would policy, not fate, finally take the lead?
Maybe you should focus her sister. Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room. Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's playing mean and plays out of control. Looked out of control to me.
Outrage turned, for many, into vindication. Within hours, timelines that had seethed over Sophie's injury filled with memes crowning instant karma the headline of the week. Wonder if she's still smiling now became the refrain under highlight clips, and celebratory posts surged. Not everyone joined in. A second debate cut through the noise. Is it ever right to cheer an injury, even when the timing feels like poetic justice? Some fans said consequences teach what warnings won't. Others argued that empathy shouldn't be situational. The split revealed something deeper about sports culture online, how quickly grief becomes spectacle. In the center of it all stood Sophie, whose next words would set the tone for what came next. Veteran voices urged restraint. Others insisted accountability matters most when outcomes are severe. Eyes turned to Sophie's feed. Her answer arrived quickly, and it did not whisper.
It stated, Connecticut Sun guard Bria Hartley will miss the remainder of the season due to meniscus tear in her right knee. Injury sustained during team practice. You got hurt at practice? Hartley is expected to make a full recovery. So you mean to tell me her own team hurt her? Oh, my God. Her own team hurt her? Oh, man. Oh, dog. This is funny as hell. I should laugh. But damn, dog. How your own team hurt you, bro? Hartley is expected to make a full recovery. Additional updates will be provided.
That, I was like, Bria and I are super cool, and she would never try to hurt me, because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but.
Well, Sophie, I got news for you. The universe thought otherwise. They got her ass up out of here, bro. Damn. Which they weren't going to the playoffs anyways, but man, karma's a ish. I just gotta keep it real, bro. I mean, this is everywhere.
Brace, not grievance, led Sophie's public stance. On her podcast, she rejected the easy villain arc, saying she believed the collision was a basketball play and that Bria Hartley wouldn't try to hurt her. She even called Hartley a friend, urging fans to leave the pile-on behind. That posture surprised some and impressed many. Forgiveness doesn't heal an MCL, but it reshapes a room, and Sophie's calm steadied a spiraling conversation. The contrast grew stark. A viral smirk versus a measured appeal. Scorched earth threads versus a player choosing perspective over payback. Fans rallied around her resilience, seeing toughness in restraint. Yet forgiveness is not the same as silence. And the next thing Sophie said made it clear she would not be pushed around. Her family pushed harder, calling out inconsistent whistles and urging stronger protections. But Sophie kept the spotlight on recovery and respect. Calm is not surrender, and her next post proved it.
So it said, wonder if she's grinning now. Oh, instant karma on their ass. Prayers do come true. Some of the same people complaining about injury. Somebody said, man, the storyline of this league is incredible. Man, I did an incredible video talk. Somebody said this was her karma. She went into every game this year and either tried to bully someone because she knew her team had her back, or she did a dirty play on someone. She knew her team had her back. She never stood up for herself and then injured someone for the whole season. And guess what? Her team ended up injuring her. Bro.
Then came the 4 words that roared, F around and find out. Sophie's post cut through the noise. Brief, blunt, and unmistakable. It reframed her as both gracious and unafraid, a competitor who could forgive without folding. Fans seized on the duality, public grace on the podcast, steel on the timeline. The message wasn't cruelty, it was a boundary. It told critics, trolls, and would-be enforcers that she wouldn't be an easy target. The line was drawn. Engagement spiked. And anticipation for her return surged with it. If she could carry that edge back onto the court, the Fever's identity would harden around her example. But as her stock rose, another conversation rekindled about Hartley's season, and the receipts that kept resurfacing. Commentators called it forward leadership that clarified standards without fueling a pile-on. It energized fans and teammates and shifted focus back to accountability and to Hartley's record. The receipts were waiting.
And guys, it's despicable. It really is. There's a lot of people celebrating this injury. And guess what? You can imagine who it is. It's members of the old WNBA fandom, the ones that root for Paige Beckers and Angel Reese and Asia Wilson and all the usual damn suspects. Line. Well, you come at Sophie's sister, you come at Sophie. And Sophie saw this comment, and bless her heart, she answered it. She answered it. Some of us were raised by the words of, quote, don't bite off more than you can chew. And some of us didn't. Quote, F around and find out. F around and find out. Kiss. God bless this woman. Yeah, seriously. She's great.
History refused to fade. It kept reloading the feed. Fans reposted the hair pull with Angel Reese, the shove on Rebecca Allen, and a collage of chippy moments that turned isolated into accumulated. Another layer appeared when screenshots showed what Hartley had liked on social media, fueling arguments that optics weren't improving. Fair or not, the frame was set. If the same name circles too many collisions, people infer intent by pattern. That's the risk of modern attention. One moment becomes a library. Even news of her own injury couldn't dislodge the label in comment sections, where narratives calcify quickly. With that storm roaring, Indiana's response would matter more than any thread. Analysts warned against trial by screenshot, noting that context vanishes online. Still, they conceded trust is earned in moments and lost in loops, and this season had many, which set up the question that mattered. Could Indiana turn chaos into grit on the scoreboard?
Now look, you can tell Bria Hartley, in my opinion, she launched herself into her knee. She did. And I've seen some of the reaction on...
The Fever answered with fight, not excuses. Kelsey Mitchell detonated for 38 and an Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Nod. Lexi Hall steadied a thinning rotation with leadership and coverage minutes, and Aaliyah Boston kept absorbing contact to anchor the paint. Day-to-day updates on Caitlin Clark maintained a cautious cadence, but everyone understood what her live ball gravity would do for spacing the instant she returned. In the meantime, Indiana leaned into defense, pace control, and late-game execution to survive shorthanded nights. The identity looked clearer, resilient, connected, hard to rattle. That ethos echoed Sophie's tone, calm, firm, and unbothered by noise. Still, fans wanted one update most of all. How was Sophie's recovery tracking? Coaches simplified sets and emphasized boards and deflections. Wins weren't always pretty, but they traveled. Film, not timelines, defined the week. Now only time could answer the question everyone kept asking.
I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you too. Proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I know that sometimes it sounds like just a word when we talk about being resilient. But it's not, man. It's how we live. Yep. It's how y'all live, and it's a tribute to you. It's a tribute to your connectedness, your togetherness, your toughness, your mindset. You never give up gritty attitudes. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And
the story moved beyond karma. It settled on character. Hartley's injury grabbed headlines, but Sophie's response defined the arc. Honest about pain, firm about standards, and unwilling to let a bad moment distort who she is. Fans rallied around that clarity. It turned her from a storyline into a standard, the tone that Indiana echoed each night. Her family's sharper words kept pressure on the league, but Sophie kept choosing perspective and work. Meanwhile, the Fever's identity sharpened under strain. Proof that resilience isn't a slogan, but a habit built possession by possession. If optics write the first draft, effort writes the second, and effort wins longer. Which left one last turn everyone could feel building: the comeback. The policy debate will continue, but the film shows this: a team refusing to fold and a leader drawing lines without losing grace. Indiana can't rush rehabs, but it can bank reps and trust. When Sophie steps back, the building will feel it. Instant karma may have ended Bria Hartley's season, but it didn't end Indiana's belief. The Fever are writing their response in film, not tweets, and Sophie Cunningham's resilience is the through line. Do you think this was coincidence or fate balancing the scales? Tell me in the comments. Wish Sophie a full recovery, and please like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a breakdown. Click the video on your screen to keep watching, and I'll see you in the next one.